Persona 5 is brash, in your face, and cranks every aspect of it to 11. I love it. When playing Persona 5, I'm reminded of the games I played in childhood. Not because I've played this series since then, but because it feels like a wholesome and complete adventure. A fantasy worthy of your time to soak in the details and appreciate it for the piece of art it is. From the very moment you boot up this game, there will be nothing but visual delights. The environments, the menus, the dungeons, the beautiful animated cutscenes, even the button prompts. I can't begin to say enough for the flair Persona 5 gives off at every single angle. It's probably the best art design I've seen from a game in years, and I don't say that lightly. It also helps that the concept for the Persona games are so strong to begin with. The idea of exploring a person's inner mind and fighting through that same mind using an array of personas, a powerful physical embodiment of a person's true identity, paves way for a neat twist on traditional JRPG combat systems as well as potential for good narrative. That potential does not go to waste here. It helps so much that the characters are not only well acted, but also grounded in realism. It contrasts nicely with the much more abstract main plot of exploring someone's hidden desires. I won't spoil anything, but the plot twist that occurs later on was genuinely a stroke of genius. There are two main goals of the game: socializing with other people to learn of their troubled lives, and utilizing your persona to battle in dungeons. The dungeon ends when you steal a person's heart, forcing them to admit their crimes. The constant overlapping between these goals are what glues the experience so well. This is mainly thanks to the confidant mechanic. It's used to spend time with others and learn more about them. Each confidant empowers you with additional abilities for use in battle. So basically, the more you bond with others, the more adept at combat you are. This is a major step up from the previous game Persona 4, as it all too often felt like anyone outside of your immediate friends were not really worth the time to socialize with. It's a good thing that the player has so many options, since the battle system has become more involved. Guns make a return, giving very limited ammunition, but also a nice ranged attack. The baton pass feature is amazing. After downing an enemy, you can pass to an ally you've bonded with enough to use a second, even stronger attack. The player also now has access to backup members that can be swapped at will, even during battle. The best returning feature is capturing a persona. Instead of Persona 4, where you just try to draw the right card after a battle, it actually correlates with the existing mechanics by allowing you to weaken enemies in battle, haggle with them, and convince them to join your cause. Admittedly, there is still an element of luck here, as it can be difficult at times to ascertain exactly what dialogue is correct, but it's never a big deal since there are alternate ways to capture them. The dungeons themselves are great, capitalizing on handcrafted motifs for each of the many disturbed characters on offer. Furthermore, the varied puzzles between each locale kept things fresh, even if somewhat the challenge I was hoping for. Despite that comment, I advocate the journey through each dungeon is well worth it. The new addition of a stealth mechanic used to ambush enemies has a nice feeling to the way in which you smoothly transition from place to place. Unfortunately, the camera movement is limited, meaning it's difficult to reach places which really should be accessible. It's not a huge issue overall, since the dungeons use mostly linear rooms, but as soon as it opens up, it can become problematic. That is honestly my biggest fault with the game. The only other issues I had were relatively minor. Some of the English dialogue felt a bit stock at times, with phrases being repeated a bit too often, but never enough to become that annoying. It would also be nice if personas, other than the active one, received experience to mitigate the grinding, but since you can fuse personas into more powerful ones, I can easily let it slide. Finally, The main character's stat system got to me a little at times too. The idea being that by practicing certain tasks, you will increase your ability to be confident, intelligent, etc. Realistically, however, it's just a way to gate the player off from performing certain actions that otherwise don't feel justified enough to be so. The reason it doesn't come off badly is because the actions you perform to increase these stats tend to be enjoyable. Besides, you can fast forward everything in this game, so even if you don't enjoy it, it isn't an issue. What a fantastic job Shoji Meguro has done with the soundtrack. It's so often sublime and catchy, melting into the backdrop to paint a beautiful canvas of your day-to-day moments. The weapon shop theme especially deserves a shout out for its eerie build-up. Still, I don't think anyone can argue that travelling to the final bosses and hearing the track Life Will Change is anything other than adrenaline pumping. Persona 5 is successful because it knows exactly what it is. It's staunchly focused on its goal, never succumbing to limiting its potential and always ready to flaunt itself for all to see. It's a true refinement to the core of what makes the series not only unique, but fun. This culminates in an unforgettable experience that personally, I believe is absolutely worthy of your time. Let us know what you thought of this review and your own impressions of the game in the comments below.